Hi there, and welcome to the post-match reaction where Rangers have defeated St Johnstone 2-0 in the Scottish League Cup. Craig, just your overall thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I think we made it harder work than it had to be. As the first half, I don't know if it was just on the back of the performances that we've had recently. I felt like it was quite poor from what I was expecting, but reading back on what other people are saying online, maybe I'm being a bit harsh on that one. So I thought we were okay first half. We created a couple of chances. We were quite good from that perspective, and we just didn't take them. There were two or three gilt-edged ones that you're expecting us to score, and I think that's just been the story of the season a wee bit on that one so far, and it's really frustrating as a fan watching that. But second half, I thought that completely changed. I thought Cyril Dessers made a real difference when he came on. Connor Barron as well. He already you can see how much of a difference he makes in terms of the tempo of our play, the control of the midfield, all of that stuff. So a good 2-0 win. A bit of controversy in there as well around the VAR and stuff like that, which we'll come on to. But good to see us into the next round, and it was, I think it was comfortable, but it didn't feel as comfortable when we were sitting watching it.
Let's get into the controversy with the VAR then.
Yeah.
Let's start off there. The roundabout, was it 60 minutes?
61st minute, yeah, I think it was.
61st minute. Jeffy, who I'm certain we will come on to at various points today, really good ball into Matondo. For me, again, you said it, I think if you're in the stadium, you're watching a different game to the people that were at home, almost, because I think the people at home are saying this, everything looked okay, and I think being here, it was a different game. Anyway, Matondo, I think it was one of the few good things that he actually did during that game. Played a good ball through to Dessers, and then he scores. Obviously, it's the referee awards a free kick.
If you missed out quite a big part.
On you go then.
So Matondo plays the ball through. It looks like the defender's going to get it. Dessers is initially running through, but he sees the ball's maybe slightly short, and I felt like we've played a lot of the through balls like slightly short of where they need to be, but it looks slightly short. Dessers comes in and uses a bit of muscle. It looks like he kind of goes shoulder to shoulder with the guy, maybe slightly into the back of the guy's shoulder. Defender goes down. Play continues. It's in the stadium. It looked and sounded like the referee had blown his whistle for a free kick before Dessers hit the back of the net. I was absolutely convinced the referee had blown his whistle. He put it to his mouth. Half the stadium celebrated, half the stadium didn't because they thought it was a foul. So I'm not quite sure what happened there, but it seemed as though for it to be looked at by VAR, it must have been played on to the ball hit the back of the net, and Dessers does extremely well. He does his normal cutback onto the inside and smashes it home. Very good finish from Cyril Dessers, and I thought he played quite well when he came on, and his movement was good as ever, and he got his goal. But there was definitely controversy in that moment, and from what I hear, Michael Stewart might have went off a wee bit on commentary on that one as well.
I need to double check the IFAB rules before 100% categorically saying it. Something's ringing at the back of my mind saying I'm not actually entirely sure if the ref, it doesn't matter when the ref blows his whistle, but we'll find out at some point. But it was a good goal, and I think Rangers were deserving of at that point. And
yeah, I think we were.
While we're talking about goals, the second goal was also another very, very good goal. Connor Barron involved in it, really good ball through to Dessers. Bit of a good control, bad control, sort of spills out on his feet, and it was a fantastic dink finish by McCausland.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where I think it's those games we see so often where as soon as Rangers get the first goal, they just relax and they just start to play football the way we want to play football. They start to create more chances. They look more relaxed on the pitch, and I think that's definitely what we saw from the point that we scored, from the point that Dessers' first goal all the way through. I thought we played some nice football in moments after that point. I thought Connor Barron was really at the centre of that. I do think I still expect more from Diomande. I don't think we're getting as much as we need to get out of Diomande.
Is he playing his best position though?
I think he is. I think he wants to play as a number 8, and that seems to be where he's playing. He wants to go box to box, but he's just not making the impact, and he's just not having that. I don't know. He's just not as impactful as I thought he would be, or as I want him to be, and probably as he wants to be as well.
Yeah.
We know he's high quality, and he's one of the few hopes we have in this squad for going on to bigger and better things, and he's just not shown it at the moment. But I thought we played some decent football. Cherny had a bit of a shocker, if we're honest about that. he still contributed, and he still had a couple of sights at goal as well. So I thought overall we played better after we scored that first goal. Second goal was some nice play, a nice turn from Dessers when the ball gets played into him by Barron, and like you say, a nice wee dinked finish from McCausland. So goal and assist for Dessers.
I didn't think about it like that. Here we go, Mr. Positivity 2024. Here he is. But yeah, just it was all Rangers deserved at that point, and it should have been genuinely about 5-6-0. I feel by the amount of chances that we had.
Maybe that's pushing it a bit 5-6 now. I'll give you 3.
Well, let's come on.
I'll give you 3,
and let's talk about Danilo.
Yeah,
he was what everybody was talking about as we were coming into the stadium. Thank goodness Danilo's starting up front for again. It's what the support had been crying out for a long time. How did you feel he did today? And before you jump in there, he could have had 3 goals today.
He could have had 3 goals.
That would have been 5-0. Thank you.
He could have had 3 goals. He probably should have had 1 at least. But I thought his movement was quite good. He was maybe struggling to get in front of defenders to then try and take control of the ball and get involved in play a bit more. I think in front of goal he just looked rusty.
Yeah.
But we also saw that when he was fit as well, didn't we? So it's hard to work out. He wasn't the most prolific goal scorer last season when he was fit, and I wonder if that's just how he is. And it would be typical us to have 2 strikers who get in the right positions but can't finish often enough, and that'd be very typical of us in our squad. But I think I thought he did okay, but he should have had a goal, and he looked rusty, and it'll be interesting to see going forward as to how they balance out his minutes, him coming back into match fitness, and Cyril Dessers, who clearly, as I mentioned earlier, made a huge difference when he came on.
Yeah, it definitely did make a difference. I think the only other major talking point from the first half is Robin Proper going off injured.
Yeah.
I was looking that up before we come on to do the podcast, and he has missed 4 games in the last 4 years, and potentially a groin strain. Do you think that's going to affect us going forward? Are you comfortable with Ben Davies being the centre half?
Absolutely not. I'm not even comfortable when Robin Proper's playing. I'm not even comfortable with John Souttar being his partner. So the fact that it would be Souttar and Ben Davies, and the thought of Souttar and Ben Davies being the partnership as we go into the games that we've got coming up, especially that one at Parkhead, is just not what you want or what you hope for. So hopefully Robin Proper is just a bit of precaution. He felt something and he's come off as soon as he can. But it's a real concern. I didn't think they did badly today when they were.
It was good today.
I would rewatch that first 20 minutes and then ask that question again. I thought he was okay. He was more confident in the ball. He did what I liked about John Souttar, and that's getting his foot in the ball, but also bringing it out from the back and almost changing what the opposition are trying to do by moving forward into that midfield. And he needs to do that much more, especially in games like this, where he moves into the midfield, because he is good on the ball. The concern is just defensively what he is, and we saw again the other night against Dynamo Kyiv the way he is really good as a siege defender. But when we're in games like this where we need to be in control, he'll be seeing a lot more of the ball. When St Johnstone make that counter attacker when they get on the break, we need him to be solid, and he's not anywhere near what we need him to be at the moment. So I've got a real downer on John Souttar at this moment in time. But
I think that's very, very harsh, by the way.
It's not really specific to this game, though, to be honest. This game was just a continuation of what I've seen before. I think Robin Proper is really positive. Maybe still dives in a little bit too much, but that's calming down a bit. I think he's for sure your number 1 starter. It's difficult to pick out. It's 3 of you got Souttar, Davies, and Balogun when they're all fit there, and I'm not sure there's an ideal partner in there for him.
From maybe the start of the game wasn't the best from John Souttar, but from my perspective, looking at it, he's a central defender. He dealt with most things in the air that came at him. There was a couple of clearances that he had as well. Stuck his head in, got that really bad injury where we thought the boy was going to get a red card. After it as well.
It went down a bit softer.
Yeah, it did a bit softer, but we'll gloss over that. But he's and his ability to come, from the centre backs to go forward, I think is a massive thing that we need to see more of from John Souttar in these games. But we'll come on to the second half now. Sort of generally, what for you? Why was that second half so much better than the first half?
I just felt we played at a higher tempo. I felt like we picked up the pace. I felt like St Johnstone maybe tired a little bit after the first half, and the sort of they obviously saw what our defence was and said, right, we're going to stick our two fastest guys up top and we're going to look for them at every potential opportunity, and that's what they did, and it caused us problems at times. It caused us real problems at times, and I think that's a tactic that works for a certain amount of time, but I think we were smarter about it. I don't know if Fleet Court maybe adjusted something, or maybe even the two centre halves kind of adjusted that a little bit at half time, but we came out and looked much more solid. And that kind of took the wind out of St Johnstone's sails for a lot of it, but we also looked much more confident. We looked like we were trying to play forward. We weren't hesitating on the ball. We weren't. I felt like in the first half we were almost trying to overplay a bit. Second half it didn't feel like that, but I also don't think we were creating that many chances in the first 10-15 minutes until we scored. Like I said, it all settled down after that, and we were playing some decent football and made it look comfortable in the end.
Yeah, and just another question about the midfield. Obviously Sterling came in from the start. Do you think that we looked better with Sterling in that midfield? And do I think he had his best game today? No, I think he was okay, but just having that presence here, I just felt the players looked a lot more confident and comfortable having somebody like Sterling in the midfield around them.
I think so. I think for me the best midfield three at the moment is Sterling, Barron and Diomande.
Without a doubt. Best
midfield three. I think having Dowell in there without Barron kind of took a bit away from it. I was going to say Connor Dowell, it's Kieran Dowell. Kieran Dowell is a bit of a meh player. He's just like doesn't really offer much. He's a body in the middle of the park. He can play some nice passes here and there, but in terms of driving us forward, in terms of creating anything, in terms of taking charge of the game or leading by the scruff of the neck, it's not what we're getting from him. And actually, since he's come in, I know he's been injured quite a bit, but I've been quite disappointed in terms of the player that I saw playing down south in England versus the one that's here. We can say that, how many players could we say that about as well? But I think with Kieran Dowell, it's immediately obvious, and it's disappointing. And I'm not even sure he works as a squad player, to be honest. That might be a bit harsh, but I'm not entirely convinced he works as a squad player.
Brutal today, man, I feel. But do you think he's one of the ones that Clement spoke about in the press conference?
I don't think he'll be on that high wages. He came here as a free agent. Maybe that bumps up his wages a bit. I think in terms of who Clement's talking about and those, I think it's very much it's Hadji, it's Cantwell, it's Matondo probably. It's probably Ben Davies as well. Players of that ilk who we know are on quite high wages or very high wages, and are not immediate starters. I think those are the players that will have probably been told you're going to have limited game time.
Yeah.
Then got to the season, and it's Davies has played probably more than they thought he would, and Matondo's played more than they thought he would. But I definitely think those are the ones. I mean, I guess you saw the excitement of fans when there was the 2-hour link of Matondo to Leeds during the week, which quickly got squashed. But I think those are the players that Clement was talking about, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, somebody who Clement is definitely not talking about started in the left back position today, and I thought he was really, really good, and that was Hefty. We were waxing lyrical about him most of the game. Could have, had his head down given what happened on Tuesday on the park here behind us at Hampden. But for me, he was man of the match today, Craig.
I think he was man of the match as well. I think he came out with a point to prove almost, it looked like. Yeah. But he was also playing left back, and when we were going through pre-season, there were a few games where he looked really suspect at left back. Today wasn't one of them. He looked much more solid. He looked much better positioning wise, and I thought he linked up really well with Matondo. And how fast he is incredible. So the speed he can overlap was really helping, and the quality of his crosses as well is good. And just his desire to win the ball back high up the park, I thought is something that we don't really do that much. So it's pretty noticeable when that player does start to do it. So I was impressed by Hefty. I've been impressed since he came in. Even the other night, I thought he was really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing much more of him. I'd probably prefer to see him in the left wing position, if I'm honest. But just from how he started, but he's going to have to do a job at left back for us while Redvan's out for the standard 4 to 6 weeks that any Rangers players out when they're injured. So well, he'll have to play left back, but I was really encouraged by that today.
Yeah, totally agree with you. I was absolutely delighted in the performance. I think it was not too dissimilar to the man standing over there, Alan Hutton, but on the left hand side. I had to get Alan Hutton in there, but yeah,
I was a big Alan Hutton fan, by the way.
Fan, shaved my hair off when he did it as well and everything. But listen, I think that just about wraps it up for today. Just grateful to be on you. Have
yeah, sorry, one more thing.
Somebody's getting the axe again for Craig.
No one else is getting the axe. I don't know. I think you jumped away from the stand straight after the final whistle, but I think it was shown on TV as well, so I think everyone will be aware of it. All the players, the whole squad went over. Alec Gray was in there as well. They were all sort of showing their appreciation to the Union Bears. They were jumping up and down with them, and I guess thanking them was the way. I tweeted from the TII account that I thought the cynical part of me wondered if it was maybe a bit of a PR move, trying to get the fans back on side, create a bit more of that connection with the team. I mean, the attendance today would have been, I assume, maybe 25,000.
Yeah,
not much more than that at all. And I think part of that is where we're standing just now, the fact we're at Hampden. Part of that is just feeling disconnected to the team, expectations being low, and the performances we're seeing on the park. All of that's kind of come together to just create this horrible mood that there is around a lot of Rangers fans just now. And the cynical part of me wonders if that was the case. A lot of people were saying no, it was really good, and they loved seeing it, and the team can't do anything right for doing wrong, and I get that, but it's just the optics of it suggest to me it's not something we've ever done before. We've done it after a standard 2-0 win against St Johnstone in the League Cup. It's not like it started after a big win and we've just kept going. It started after a standard 2-0 win with St Johnstone, and there we go. But yeah, I'm slightly cynical about that one. Where do you stand on it?
I understand your viewpoint, but I'm never going to criticise players for showing their appreciation to the fans. And if you're saying it's a bit staged, a bit PR, we've had to change something. That was what Clement said when he came back into the club. We have to get the synergy with the team and the fans, and that has been somewhat lost in the last few weeks. And we've had to do something. I'm just glad it looks like we're trying to do new things to G the players up and the support up again. So.
I get it. The mood couldn't be any lower amongst fans, and the relationship could it be more toxic? I think I have seen it more toxic at times between the fans and the club. But yeah, maybe I get cynical of that. I'll get more involved with it if it keeps happening. But I wonder if we will see it after all games moving forward.
Yeah, I'm going to shove Craig pitch side next time it happens, see if we can get involved with it all. But I think
halfway get involved with it all.
I think that's about us wrapped up now.
I think that's it. It's just checking you haven't missed it.
Just double checking with you there. But you can catch the next podcast. That'll be tomorrow. That'll be yourself, Craig.
It's myself again to talk about the delight that has been Rangers 2 St Johnstone now.
Yeah, and who are you on with? Do you remember?
I'm on with Reese and JB. We'll be delving into everything related to the club. We won't just be looking back at this game, but we'll be looking at all aspects of the club, from the potential new CEO appointment all the way through to Ibrox, all the way through to playing at Hampden, all the way through to, I'll stop saying all the way through to in a second, but all the way through to the transfer ins and outs and how difficult that has been this summer. So make sure you join us.
Yeah, Reese hasn't been on in a while, and he's got some wild opinions on always, so that should be a good one. But listen, thanks everybody for watching. Take care, and we'll see you all soon.